Anger in Morbi over bridge tragedy. Bar body won't represent the accused in this case. Anger spills onto the streets of Morbi. Lapses by Oreva. Anger on the streets. Morbi and Rajkot Bar Association now has passed a resolution for not representing the accused in the Morbi bridge collapse case. My colleague Ashutosh Mishra is joining me live from Morbi on this. Ashutosh, so nobody in terms of the Bar Association will in fact represent the accused in this case, and there's anger on the streets as well over this absolutely avoidable and unfortunate tragedy.
Fourth day of this tragedy, a man-made tragedy rather we would call, and then you hear one of the accused in the court saying it was act of God, and that's exactly why there is anger boiling on the street amongst the people. And it is the first the Bar Association of Morbi and Rajkot, two district bar associations, have decided not to represent any of the accused in this case. 9 have already been arrested, few are in police remand, few have been sent to judicial custody, and since there are going to be further arrests made by the investigative agencies soon, none of these lawyers, be it Morbi District Court, Sessions Court or Rajkot District or Sessions Court, none of these lawyers are going to represent the accused in the court. And here in these images, what you see is the silent protest march being taken out by the lawyers, by the Bar Association of Morbi District and Sessions Court. The lawyers have decided not to represent the accused in the court. And why the reason? Well, I mean, what would be the reason possible? Because, in the judicial process, if the accused do not have any right to representation in the court, that will also affect the judicial and justice process.
ये मौन रैली है, अभी बोलने के लिए मना करा है, शांत रखने का है, ये श्रद्धांजलि है, सिर्फ इसलिए थोड़ी बार.
It's a protest march and silent protest march. This is offering condolence to those who have died in this man-made disaster. They are marching from the court to the epicenter of this entire tragedy. They are walking towards the suspension bridge, and as we know, since the resolution has been passed, and more importantly, the lawyers have also said that these two district bar association members will not represent the accused, but if they have representation from any other district, any other state, any other town, they will not be opposed, they will not protest against those lawyers. However, in that case, if there is any lawyers amongst them going to represent this accused or decides to take the case, he will be taken out of Bar Council, the Bar Association from these districts. And that's exactly, why it looks like, why there is unhappiness, anger literally amongst the people against this tragedy in Morbi.
Right. Ashutosh, give us a sense of what the prosecution said in court yesterday.
Well, Paulami, we have been reporting exactly the cause of this possible tragedy, and primarily what it looks like, the lacks of security clearance and also the rusted metal cables that were actually, the root cause of this entire disaster. And clearly those images show that how there was literally no preparation, no checks done. And besides, when you are going to open such infrastructure, such structure which has access to the people, when you expect hundreds of the people going on that, and since we know that century-old such structure, there the prosecution said when the contract was awarded to the company, they did not go for the safety audit, there was no NOC rather, and when they opened it without renovation, and when it comes to the renovation, it does not mean denting and painting. The cables were not fixed, they were not checked, it was literally fragile, could not afford the weight, the amount of weight that it had on that day of the tragedy, and hence there is a total negligence at the part of the company. However, the question that remains that how can you only blame and fix this responsibility only to a company? What about the civil administration? What about the police administration? Because without NOC, if such structure is allowed to have a public gathering on that, it is a sheer negligence from this authority. How did they even allow? So those aspects are still being investigated by the agency. Remember yesterday Prime Minister holding the important meeting with this administrative personnel. There was also a stern message, do not surrender under any pressure, and it has to be independent inquiry, and that's why expectations are very high that soon even the big names, the company Oreva, company's owner, a local administrative top officials, everyone will be named, and that's exactly why we're waiting for the investigative agency, other names, whether they're going to be added, whether they'll be summoned or not. But for now, only 9 people have been arrested, the manager, security guard, and those who
Absolutely. Only 9 people have been arrested so far. Where has that investigation reached? Why hasn't the the hook really tightened around the main culprits, in fact, of Oreva company who were responsible for this? And what about the culpability of the district administration? Ashutosh, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details.